Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Frida if you guys have never been here before. Today's video I'm going to be talking all about the MAC and PATRICKSTARRR collaboration, specifically on this product right here. This is the only one I have from the collaboration, but I wanted to compare my MAC and PATRICKSTARRR collaboration translucent powder with this Mercier translucent powder. I use this on a daily basis, so I know exactly how it performs. Everybody else knows how it performs as well, so that's why I chose this one. So I'm just going to be comparing these two right here. I'm just going to be telling you guys my honest review and opinion on this product. I'm going to be testing Flashback, all that good stuff. Also, if you guys are interested on the eyeshadow look that I have right here, I am doing a separate video today on that, so I will link that down below as soon as that is uploaded for you guys. And now moving on to the real reason why you guys are here. If you're interested on learning about the MAC and PATRICKSTARRR translucent powder, then go ahead and keep on watching. It'll also mean the world to me if you guys hit that subscribe button down below. And I'm out of breath. As always, let's just go ahead and jump on in. Before I jump into that next clip, because I won't have all of this makeup on, I will just have like my base before I set. So I just want to let you guys know which products I'm using, just so you guys know like the background information, you know, what foundation, etc, because I feel like that's very important on what you're using with any translucent powder. So I went in and primed my skin and moisturized it with the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothing Priming Moisturizer. I do have naturally dry skin, so I made sure to just use a bunch of this, especially underneath my eyes, so that way I wouldn't have any issues with dryness underneath there. And then right on my cheeks and my nose, I went in with Benefit Professional just to smooth out everything. And then I went in with the Too Faced Born This Way foundation, which is one of my favorites. I know exactly how it reacts with photos and everything. I've never had an issue with it. And then I also used the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer. This is in the color Fair Warm. And then I used my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer on top of that, just a little teeny tiny bit right here just to cover up any darkness that I had because I have really bad bags underneath my eyes. So those are all the products that I use, and I just use a beauty sponge to apply all those. I also cream contoured using the Kat Von D Shade and Light Cream Contouring Palette. That's pretty much all the products that I use right before the next clip that you guys are about to see before I apply any of these powders. So yeah, that's the background info, and now let's jump into the powders. This is a powder that I use most often, that I'm most comfortable with, that I think everybody knows everything about. It's pretty universal. Everybody uses it. Everybody raves about it. It's a great translucent powder, so I figured it would be the best one to kind of compare to this one right here. I'm first going to start off using my PATRICKSTARRR one, and it's all fresh and brand new, so I have to peel the little tab off of it. This is just what the powder looks like right here. It has kind of like a pinky tint to it, so I'm hoping that it's not going to be pink on my face. I'm just touching up my concealer real quick because it hasn't been set in the last like 10 minutes that I've been filming this. So it has creased up a little bit, but now it is fresh. So I'm going to use this beauty sponge just the way that I always do with my Mercier one. I'm going to dip it into this powder right here and just kind of press it into my skin. I don't ever really bake because I know that dries out my under eyes, so I'm going to use this the exact same way I always do. And I'm just going to press it underneath right here. And smooth everything out. I'm just using the PATRICKSTARRR powder everywhere else that I would set. So on my chin, on my nose, and on my forehead. And then on my other under eye, I'll use my Mercier one. So I set my forehead, my nose, my chin, and this eye right here. It's the one with my part on this side with the PATRICKSTARRR and MAC powder. So now I'm just going to use a little bit of my Mercier and just set this under eye right here the same way that I always do, and the same way that I just did with my MAC and PATRICKSTARRR powder, just to make it nice and fair. Looking at both of my eyes up close and personal, this side right here with the PATRICKSTARRR powder did crease a little bit more than my Mercier one. It looks a bit dry under here. It definitely mattens up the skin, so I think this is better for people with oily skin who really want to keep their face nice and matte throughout the day. It did make my chin look really, really nice and smooth as I'm looking at it, and my nose, it looks really, really smooth. It's just my eye right here that just really doesn't look the best. It made it crease a ton. I'm going to zoom you guys in so you can see the difference between the two. So we are up close and personal, and this eye right here was the one with the Patrick Star powder. As you guys can tell, it is pretty dry right here. I'm going to go in a little bit closer, but you guys can see just how dry it is underneath, and you can still see a lot of the darkness peeking through. That's what I was talking about, where it kind of took some of my concealer away right there. And then this is the side with the Laura Mercier translucent powder on it, so you can still see there's coverage right there. It's not as creased under here, and the top lid isn't as creased as well. Also just ignore my brows, but it did take a little bit of my concealer off, which I'm not really liking, especially right here. What I will say is it did a great job of brightening underneath my eyes and just setting my concealer. It makes my concealer look really, really nice on my chin, my nose, and my forehead. As far as my under eyes, I probably wouldn't use it regularly underneath my under eyes just because it is making it look really, really dry underneath there, but it is a matte translucent powder. I think it's just meant for people with oily skin, or at least more targeted for people with oily skin. I was putting this on my face. I will say that it doesn't have any strong or specific smell, like, you know, super, super powdery anything. It's not super strong. I know when I put on the Coty Airspun powder, I can smell it on me almost all day long. So that is a very, very, very strong smelling powder, but this one right here, it doesn't smell bad, it doesn't smell strong, nothing like that. It doesn't bother me at all. I've used both translucent powders. I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup, and then I'll be right back once all of that is on. Right before I finished up the rest of my makeup, I did do a flashback test and a flash photography, so I will say I had absolutely no problems with this translucent powder giving me any flashback, which I'm so, so pleased about. It's definitely good for pictures. I just will honestly say I think it's targeted more towards people who have oily skin because it is very, very dry. It's very, very matte. I don't want to say it's very dry, but it's very matte. For the pros, I will say that this powder is very, very finely milled, which I absolutely love. Because it is finely milled, it is very easy to apply. It's not very powdery on the face, which I love. Once it sets, it sets. It's not like sitting right on top of the skin. It's sitting within the skin, which I loved as well. There's no strong scent, so I don't think it'll bother any of you guys who are very sensitive to smells. Doesn't have a specific color. I know some of them are too yellow, too white, too pink, but this one is just as translucent as it can be. And then obviously no flashback. As far as the cons go, I will say it just dried up underneath my under eyes right here, and then on top of my eyelids right here as well. I just don't think it's very good for under my eyes, around the eye area, but everything else, I mean, my chin, my nose, and my forehead look great with this powder, which I am so pleased about. It's just, like I said, I think it's made more for people who have oily skin because it is super matte. So some people who have dry skin might not like that. I definitely will only be using my Laura Mercier underneath my eyes, and then just using this everywhere else if I want to go ahead and do that. But I was very pleased to know that there is no flashback, so I don't have to stay away from this at nighttime. You know, I just don't need to be worried about it, which is great. So besides that issue, I really didn't have any other problems with this. I think this is a great powder. So as far as the price difference between the two, the MAC and Patrick Star one is $34, and then the Laura Mercier one is $38. That is both US dollars. And they are also both 1 ounce, so you get the exact same product amount. And this Laura Mercier one has honestly lasted me a super long time, and I use it every day, so I don't doubt that this one will also last you a super long time. I think if you guys are oily skin, I think this would be an amazing, amazing formula for you guys. So I think that's pretty much all that I have to say about this powder. I hope that I answered all of your guys' questions. If you have any other ones, feel free to leave them in the comment section down below, and I will respond back to you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I hope that it was informative, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!